Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Basico ServiceNow Learning. So in today's video, we are going to talk about one of the ServiceNow API, that is GlideAggregate. In this video, we will discuss all the GlideAggregate functions in depth by the help of use cases. And at the end of this video, you will be having a good understanding of all the GlideAggregate functions, their aggregation capabilities in detail. So let's see what is GlideAggregate first. So GlideAggregate is an extension of GlideRecord, and basically it's provide an capability to do aggregation like min, max, count, sum, average, etc. And this API is mostly used for calculation perspective. This is only a definition, right? So to understand the aggregation capabilities which is mentioned over here, let's say min, max, count, sum, average, group concat, distinct, std def capabilities in depth, let's move to the use cases. So here I have created 4 use cases. The first use case is that find out the count of active incident. The second use case is find out how many number of incident belongs to each category or group by category. I will also showcase you in the list view that what basically we want to achieve. Okay. The third use case is use of sum, average, min and max in CMDB CI table. This is basically to explore the aggregation capabilities of GlideAggregate, to understand in depth that how exactly we can use it and how exactly it is displaying the results. The fourth one is display all the distinct classes referred in CMDB underscore CI table record. We know that each and every record in CMDB underscore CI table belongs to a specific class, right? So what we have to do, we have to figure out all the classes in a single string which is comma separated. For this also, we are going to use one of a GlideAggregate aggregation capability. So let's implement the use case and see how exactly we can use GlideAggregate API in ServiceNow while doing scripting. So friends, for the same, basically what I have done is that I have opened my personal development instance in two of the browser. Okay. So in one of the browser, I will be writing the script, and the another browser, I will be displaying you the records of ServiceNow. Let's say incident CMDB underscore CI table, right? So for scripting, basically today I am using a background script. I am opening the same in another tab. See, so I have this kind of UI. If you don't have this type of UI, it means you have not installed as an utils tool. So you have to install the same. It makes the editor very interactive and user friendly to write the code. And then in another browser, I have this where I am opening an incident list. Okay. So here in incident for all, basically we have 67 incident available in the list view of incident. So as per the use case, the first use case says that we have to find out the count of active incident. Okay. So let's move to the editor. Let's start coding. GlideAggregate. Okay. Just for understanding, I have just mentioned over here. So the first use case says that we have to find out the number of active incident. Okay, so before starting the GlideAggregate, I will also tell you that how we can find out the number or say total count of incident in GlideRecord, because in GlideRecord also we can find out the total count of a particular record displaying in a list. Okay, so for that what basically we use that var count new GlideRecord. I am giving you examples so that at least we have understanding that how we are getting the same thing in GlideAggregate and why it is recommended to write the same thing in GlideAggregate. So in GlideRecord, basically what we do, first we create a particular object of a GlideRecord class, then count dot query, and then count dot get row count. So this get row count is basically giving us a count of a particular record which is available after performing a query. Okay. So here we have get row count. Let's say gs.info. And let's execute it. So it is displaying me 67 records, which we have seen over here, right? 67. But all these incidents which is displayed over here, we are not talking about it is active or not, right? So what we have to do, we have to apply a filter in a particular code. So here we can apply a filter, that is count dot add query, and we can say, sorry, active, oh sorry, true, right? Let's say run the script. So now it is displaying me count 40. So go here, say filter and type active. Okay, is true, run. So the number of record displaying over here is 40. So through GlideRecord, basically we can achieve the same in terms of count. Let's say if we need a count of a record displaying after applying some filter and all, right? But how we can use the same in GlideAggregate? Okay, so let's see how we can use that. Rename it count so it make a bit sense of it. So the same way, where count new glide aggregate, and then the same we did for GlideRecord, we have to give the table name incident. Okay, so here in GlideAggregate, basically we have different functions available which we can use to find out the thing. So one of the function is add aggregate. So let's say add aggregate. So add aggregate is basically needs some parameters. So the first parameter will be the glide aggregation which we want. So what we want count, right? So we have to give count over here. Then we can say count dot query, the same we did for GlideRecord, right? While count dot next. Okay, and here we can type gs.info. So now to print the things, what we have to do, we have another function in GlideAggregate, that is get aggregate. So count dot get aggregate, and the same what we have given in the parameter, same we have to give in the get aggregate. And here is we are done with the code. Run script. See, it is displaying me a 67. Right, 67 number of records, but here we also have not applied the particular filter, right, where we are saying that active is true. So we can apply the filter over here, count dot add query. It is almost same as GlideRecord, but the thing is that we have some different functions available. Let's say add aggregate and get aggregate. These two functions are most important functions of GlideAggregate, where we are use the aggregations, right? So where we can pass parameters also, but we have to make sure whatever parameters we are passing in add aggregate, the same parameters we have to pass in get aggregate. Okay, so the add query, what we have to say, we have to say that active is true, right? So the count is 40. So as we have seen here, so here the total count is 40, right? So in this way, in GlideAggregate, basically we can use this count aggregation to find out the total number of rows available. Okay, so let's move to a second use case now. So the second use case says that find out how many number of incident belongs to each category or group by category. So here are two things, right? Count, how many numbers. So both are saying basically count and talking about numbers only, right? So here we also have to find out that how many incident belongs to each category. So let's navigate to ServiceNow application first. See, here we have incident where we have active true. Let's make it all. So here we have 67 incident which belongs to different categories, right? So let's group by category. I can say group by category. So once we group by category, it is showing me that this empty category is having 4 incident, this database category having 2 incident, this hardware category have 10 incident. So let's say in any of the scenario where we have to find out that what all categories contains how many numbers of problem, incident, change, it depends on the particular table, right? That depends on the requirement, but the logic will be same, right? So how to implement the same, because logic will be same everywhere. So let's move to section. So let me change the name many number of incident belongs to each category. Okay, so here we are talking about incident, so the first syntax will be same, where count new glide aggregate incident, right? We are not talking about active equals to 2, so let's move it. Now here we also need number of incident, right? So it means we have to use the aggregation, that is count. Okay, the rest of the code is fine, query next, and when we use add aggregate, then we can use a get aggregate also, right? So to group by category, we can use count dot group by. Okay, and here we can group by category. Okay, so now syntax is add aggregate by count, then group by category, query the particular table. If the records are available there, then get aggregate, run script. See, it is displaying me 4, 2, 10, 33, 5, 13. So it is 4, 2, 10, 33, 5, 13. So it is basically displaying me a count, but make it more informative, right? So what we can do here is that we can print the category also. Get display value category, let's say plus, then here. Okay, so what I have done here is that through this particular syntax I am printing the category also, right? Let's run the script. See here, now it is displaying me empty category has 4, database has 2, hardware has 10, inquiry 33, network 5, software 13. The same displayed over here, right? So this is a very simple 4-line code, right? Which is giving us a complete information. So in this way, the glide aggregate is helpful for us, right? By using this, we can find out the aggregation in a very simpler way. Okay, so now we don't need this code. How we can use the same in add aggregate? Let me comment this. It means we are not group buying the same by category. Now here we can also pass second parameter, that is category. Okay, so what I am saying over here is that count per category means filter the things through category first and then count it. Okay, as I said, whatever we are giving in add aggregate, we have to give the same thing in the get aggregate, but here we have not given the same, right? Let's run the script. See, it is displaying me null, 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 null. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to copy the same thing and paste it over here. Paste it over here, right? And run. See here. So instead of this, what I have done, I have passed one more parameter, that is a field name. Here we have an aggregation, here we have a field name. So accordingly, it is displaying me number of categories and the count of incident. Okay, so in this way we have implemented the second use case, which has given us the understanding of two functions, that is add aggregate and the get aggregate, even though it also have given us the understanding of one of the glide aggregate aggregation, that is count. Now move to the third use case. So the third use case says that we have to use of sum, average, min and max aggregation in CMDB underscore CI table. So let's move to a ServiceNow instance first and open CMDB underscore CI table. Okay. So this particular table CMDB underscore CI has 2784 results. Here we have cost. Okay, so whatever scenario we are going to apply, sum, min, max, it's basically a number based scenarios, right? So for that, what we have to do, we have to use the number field. So cost is basically a number field because numerical values are getting displayed over here. So if we are doing a sum, if we are doing an average, if we are doing a min number, max number, right? So it makes a sense to implement the use case over here. So what we are going to do in CMDB underscore CI table, we will find out the maximum number, we will find out the minimum number in this 2784. Okay, and we will also sum all these numbers in a single go, and we will also find out the average of all the records, right? That let's say if we have 2784 records, then we total the cost and divide by that, right? But in glide aggregation we don't need to implement the formula. By using the API methods we can directly achieve it. Okay, so let's see how we can implement it. So let's move to the code editor here, background script. So again, I will write the code and will change some comment over here. Okay, use of sum, min, max, average. Okay, and count we have already done, right? So these are the four aggregations which we are taking care in this scenario. Okay, so the syntax is var count. We can give any name for a particular object. I am giving as count just for understanding. New glide aggregate, then I can say here cmdb underscore ci, because here we are talking about this table cmdb underscore ci, right? So then what we have to do, we have to do count dot add aggregate, right? The same, first we have to give the aggregation, that is sum, and for what we have to do, we have to give for the field say cost. So field name is cost. Here you will also find that aggregate, sum, and field is string. So field is basically cost. Okay, I am like aware of the field name. You can go to the particular table and find out the field name, backend field name, right? Cost. Now again we have to do count dot query. Then while what we have to do, while count dot next, right here, and count dot get aggregate, where we are, once we are using add aggregate, then we have to use glide aggregate too. Okay, and the same thing which we are using over here, same we have to use here also, right? Here it is done. Now you are thinking it's very simple, right? Writing a code same for all the aggregations, right? Just info here, right? So we are done with the code. Let's execute. Run script. Oh, it displays all the things, not some. So what exactly it did? It basically go to add aggregate, sum, and then filter all the cost with the same digits. Let's say go here. If you go and you can group by it, see here, group by cost. See, so it is displaying me this 49.99 cost having 23 records, right? So in that way it's basically displayed as the record, but as per the use case we need the sum, okay, of all the costs. So what for that, what we have to do, we have to write one more thing over here, that is count dot set group, okay, and we have to say false. So if you want that we don't need to group by the things, then we have to do this, because it's basically figure out that the same data how many records it have. Okay, by using this basically we are saying do not do that, whatever things we have only add, then run script. So see here, now we have a total sum of all the records of all the costs which is mentioned in 2784 records, right? In this way, so in this way we can use sum. If you want to apply some filter to do a addition for a particular category or particular class only, then we can do that also. How we can do that? Let's say I want that for a Linux server I need only the cost sum. So matching. Okay, there is one I'm writing a query, so I am just copy query, right? Here I can say dot add encoded query. The same we use in GlideRecord, right? And here we have to pass the string which we have copied from here. So run. Now it is displaying me the cost of Linux server only. See here, 45,557.5, and it calculated it in that way. Okay, so if I mark it as comment, then see the calculations is different. So in that way you can apply filter and you can perform the sum. Now let's say if we have to do average, the same thing, the same code, only we have to change the aggregation. See here, AVG 2092 point something something. Okay, in the same way you can do min. See, very simple, right? So the min value is 0. Let's see, let's check. Go all. This is descending order. Let's click over here. Now it's ascending order, so it is taking the null as in 0. Okay, so if I apply filter that do not consider this cost, right? Filter out where I'm saying cost is not equal to 0, then what is the minimum value? That is 49.99, right? Copy query. Same in included query, we can use it. Go here, apply some filter, right? Let's run. See, 49.99 is the minimum value available in all the records, right? Same we can do for max also. So for max, what we have to do, just comment it out, type max, change the aggregation only. See, 45,557. Let's apply. See here, this is a max value, right? Because we are sorting the particular list in descending order. Okay. So in this way, the use case which says that we have to see that how we can implement the aggregation, that is sum, average, min and max, we have seen here, right? It's a very simple code. And we know that if we are passing a particular field with a particular aggregation, then it will group by the things with the particular values first, and then it will display the results, right? So accordingly we can use other filters, other things as per the requirement, right? Now we have to implement the fourth use case, that is distinct value. Okay, distinct class value in single string, comma, separated. I believe you are understanding that what exactly we want to display, right? I will give a brief of it. So I am doing the same in cmdb underscore ci table. So for that, what I am doing here is that I am not using this particular. Okay. So let's move to ServiceNow instance. We have all, see here we have classes. We have Linux, 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 right? And we have lots of other classes. So I want what all classes are used in this 2784 records. Only distinct classes, means no duplicate classes needs to be displayed, and it should be displayed me in a single line in a string format with comma separated. Let's say we have to display the number of classes this record is consuming to a user in a particular message, or we have to trigger an email notification where we have to tell them that okay, these are the values which you are using in a single go, right? There we can use a glide aggregation. Okay, let me tell you how we can do that. So here I went to the editor. Now again I have to write code count dot, I can say add aggregate. Okay, so the only game is of aggregation and the field. Okay, so here the aggregation which we have to use, that aggregation is group concat. So here I am using group concat and group concat distinct both, but the requirement is of only group concat distinct as per the use case. But for displaying perspective, I am using a group concat also. Okay, so group concat. Concat, and for which field we have to use, we have to use for class. Okay, now we have now group concat. Again we have to perform the query. Queries must in GlideRecord, even though in GlideAggregate, because this only perform whatever syntax we have written above. Then I can say while count dot next, and I'm saying count dot get aggregate. As I said, the number of parameters which we have passed in add aggregate, the same number of parameters we have to pass in get aggregate. See here, and then unscript. Oh, it is not displaying anything to us because we are not giving Oh, it displayed all the classes. Why? Because we have used group concat. But if we want to remove the duplicates, then we have to use distinct. That is the main difference between group concat and group distinct. Okay. Just to demonstrate, actually I use group concat as I said earlier. Let me click on run. See, now it is displaying me separate class names, not duplicate one. See here, all these classes basically used in this uh, cmdb underscore ci table for 2700 some 84 records, right? Yeah, 2784 records. So this number of classes has been used. But as I have said earlier, that we need in a single string and comma separated, right? But it is not displaying in the required format, right? For that, what we have to do, the same set group count dot set group false, right here. Now, see here, all the things comes into a single row. It is basically not segregating the data now. It is only displaying all the classes in a distinct format, right, by using this in that way. So it means we can post in a single go all the data, right? So friends, I think we have implemented all the aggregations, right, which is mentioned over there. Min, max, sum, average, group concat, distinct, group concat, and we have also seen in the demonstration that how we can implement the same while writing the script in ServiceNow, right? I believe now you will be having a better idea of GlideAggregate, and you will be not going to forget it because it's very simple to use and very simple to implement, right? So friends, I have also created one of the article where I have posted all the things along with code. You can navigate to that article also, where you will find all the information and the definitions and all things. Friends, I have posted the above link in the comment section too. So you can like navigate to that link if you need more information. So this is all for this video. If this video is helpful, then please like, share and subscribe, and please provide your suggestions, feedback, and if you have any questions in comment section below, I will try to answer all your questions. Thank you friends. Have a nice day. Bye bye.